Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Patreon, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever, guys. We're even on Amazon Music now, believe it or not. You can contact Dayspring Discussions, of course, on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. And you can find me, personally, SlimDayspring12 on Twitter and Instagram. Well, hello, everyone. It is a Saturday evening here in Austin, Texas. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend so far. I've been working, but not working too hard, so kind of, enjoying the day a little bit. Still kind of on the high from the big Disney investor presentation on Thursday, and that's what I'm here to talk about, guys. So for those of you who are new to the show, this is how it goes, guys. On Facebook and Twitter, you will find the Dayspring Discussions groups. That's where I post news, fan art, memes, whatever. You guys post stuff there too if you like, and then comment, discuss these things, and just, overall have a good time communicating with each other in our love of geekdom. And every once in a while, when there's a really big story or something I really want to talk about, I'll hop on here and kind of share my thoughts. You guys, of course, fire back on the comments sections or on the Facebook group and Twitter account. Let me know what you think about all the good stuff that I'm about to talk about. And as I said, we're going to be talking about the big Disney investors presentation that came out on Thursday. And let's be honest, just pretty much kicked ass. I mean, if you love Disney, if you love Star Wars, if you love Marvel, it was just a smorgasbord of goodness for all of us. Here on the show, of course, I want to focus today on Marvel. I want to talk Star Wars. Believe me, I want to talk Star Wars. But my wife Lisa, who's also a big Star Wars fan, a little busy today. So hopefully tomorrow I can come on here, get her to come on. We'll talk about the Star Wars goodness that was the Thursday presentation. But for now, I'm going to go over the Marvel side of the presentation, kind of share my thoughts on some of the stuff that Mr. Feige announced. You guys, of course, like I said, fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think. All right, guys. Well, let's start from the beginning, of course. One of the things Kevin Feige came out and said, aside from, the trailers that we got, the next Marvel Studio film we're going to see, Black Widow. The film was supposed to come out in May, kept getting pushed back. It was on the cusp where myself and maybe a few others, or many others, thought it might just go straight to Disney Plus, maybe do one of those Mulan things for the premium access, dual release, much like Warner Brothers is doing with Wonder Woman. But no, Kevin Feige came out and said they are committed to the theatrical release of their Black Widow film, and also Eternals as well too. So basically you're pushing both these films a year from when they were supposed to be. Black Widow is coming out, I believe, May 7th is what they said, 2021. And then Eternals, I believe they said November. I don't know, guys. I don't want to look it up. So I'm just going to say it's about a year later than what it was supposed to be. But again, no mention of them coming to Disney Plus, kind of the opposite of what Warner Brothers is doing with their HBO Max films. But I'm not getting into that drama at all. I'm just saying I'm happy that Black Widow is still going to be seen in theaters. That's how you have to see it if you want to see it in the first couple months. It's good for business. I mean, I'm sorry. The movie theaters, that's how the studios make a lot of money, and they know it. And yes, I know streaming is the way of the future, but you know what? Streaming is not going to make you as much money as releasing a film in theaters. I think Disney knows it, and that's why they're giving us some stuff with Disney Plus, if you saw it from the presentation, but they're also committed to also still the theatrical experience because they know how much money that really makes them. And a film like Black Widow is meant to be seen on the big screen. I myself still plan on seeing Wonder Woman 1984 on the big screen for the first time. I'll watch it, on HBO Max for second, third viewings, but the first time I want to see that film, I want it to be on the big screen because that's how these films need to be seen. Eternals, like I said, still, going to be out there in the fall. We still haven't seen any trailers or really what to expect. I'm not a big Eternals fan. I think I tried to read a couple comics several years ago, and I just couldn't get into it. So I'm not a big Eternals fan. But you know what? Obviously, I'll go see it, when the film comes out. But as of right now, until I see a trailer that's going to get me excited, I am not excited for it. All right, jumping over to the Disney Plus side of things, guys. We know that not that far off, we are getting the first Marvel Studios series, WandaVision. It's going to be setting up something that, is going to be kind of a through thread where you're going to have WandaVision that's going to tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which now we know is going to tie into the next Spider-Man movie. So Marvel Studios mixing it up with some multiverses should be pretty interesting. I like the fact that you're taking three characters or four characters or however many that might not fit well together, but then giving them something in common that will tie them together. And I'm sure we'll see other characters of the Marvel or MCU come in there as well and help out in this multiverse storyline that should be curious. I'm very curious about what's going on with all of this. But anyway, we got a new trailer for WandaVision. It doesn't bring my excitement up anymore because, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking more forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier because it's more of my alley. I'm more of a Captain America guy. So Falcon Winter Soldier is kind of, gets me more excited because I like that more than, say, like an Iron Man type of world or even a Thor type of world. So that's why I'm more excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is why the trailer for that wasn't, in my opinion, great. But you know what? I like that we finally got a release date. It's coming out March 19th. The trailer didn't wow me. But again, like I said, I'm still excited for this series to come out, especially since we now have an official date about it. Loki, from what Feige described and from what we saw, we can expect this. It's Loki, the god of mischief. So what more do you expect than a mischievous series such as this? Looks like he's going to be, hooking up with the Time Bureau of Marvel, which I'm not too familiar with. I know a little bit about him, but not a lot. But they get their hands on Loki. Looks like he's maybe doing some jobs for him, traveling through time and space. I had some friends over yesterday. We were watching the newest episode of Mandalorian, and we kind of broke down the Loki trailer a little bit. There's one shot with what looks like Black Widow in the background, and then like the next shot is New York destroyed. You could tell because it was Avengers or Stark Tower kind of destroyed, and I'm thinking it has to do something with a parallel universe where maybe Loki succeeded in that first Avengers film. The Avengers didn't save the day. Maybe it's some kind of parallel universe like that. I don't know, but you know what? Again, not overly hyped for Loki, but it seems interesting, and I'm definitely going to watch it. And then, of course, another trailer we got was the What If. Very famous, stories in comic books, the What Ifs. If you took a character or, a storyline and it went a different way, and they're taking that from the comics and putting it into animated form, MCU style. And like I said, the thing I'm most storyline it looks like I'm most excited for is going to be the one where Peggy Carter takes the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. Becomes like a Captain Britain type character. Looks like she teams up with a Howard Stark who makes an early Iron Man. That, storyline seems more exciting to me. You do have T'Challa, who's going to become Star-Lord. You also have something going on with Doctor Strange, among other things. That seems interesting to play with the universe a little bit. It's in animation form. They got voice casting, from the movies to do this. I think, if I remember correctly, they got Chadwick Boseman to record his stuff before he passed away. So I think we're actually going to hear Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa in this animated series. I'm not 100% sure on it, but, that'd be cool if we did that. While we're on the subject, Black Panther 2. Kevin Feige, he said, yes, they're still moving ahead with Black Panther 2. And the thing about it is they have decided that they are not going to recast the character of T'Challa. I keep saying that wrong. I feel like I'm not saying the name right. T'Challa. There we go. I think I said it right that time. Anyway, the film is still set to be written and directed by Ryan Coogler, coming out July 8th, 2022. And again, they're not recasting, which I honestly think is a mistake, but I can't really fault them for it, really. I mean, this is kind of an unprecedented circumstance where, yes, you did have, like, say, Heath Ledger passed away, but it wasn't a things where, that version of the Joker was part of a larger cinematic universe in that sense. So I understand that. It's just a matter of what do they do? Who's going to be the Black Panther if not T'Challa? A lot of people are saying Shuri, because she is, a sister, and in the comic book she has been taking the mantle of the Black Panther for a while. But one thing that always comes up, that I have heard people talk about, and I talk about too, is, if you go by Wakanda traditions, she has to face the trial by combat, and I don't think she's the type of character that can do that. I mean, T'Challa barely beat M'Baku, in his challenge. I don't think Shuri would have a chance unless they change up the rules or something else went down. I don't know how they're going to do it. But you know what? It's Kevin Feige. It's the MCU. It's Ryan Coogler. I'm just going to have to trust their decision as all we will. I still don't think it's the right thing to do because T'Challa, has had over 50 years of stories, and really he's only had about 2 so far in the MCU. So he's a great character, and to, take that character and never use him again, I think is a disservice to, what Chadwick Boseman started out doing with this character and what he would want done. But again, that's my opinion. You have yours. Everyone has their own. Fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know, because I think it's really something that can have a lot of discussions about that subject. All right, so as far as other things they announced, I can't go through everything, guys. I was sitting here for like ever going through all the stuff. They announced there's another film coming out for Ant-Man, a third Ant-Man film. Of course, it's called, what is it? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania? Is that what it is? Wait, where is it at? Quantumania. I'm sorry. When I see that, I think WrestleMania, and that just seems really weird to me. But anyway, it's the third Ant-Man and Wasp film, going to be directed by Peyton Reed, who directed the first 2, and they have confirmed that Jonathan Majors will portray Kang the Conqueror. And that's something has been rumored for a while, but they confirmed it, much like how they confirmed what's her name is going to be She-Hulk in the She-Hulk. It's something that's been talked about, but nothing confirmed. Now Marvel is finally saying, yes, indeed, this is our Kang the Conqueror, and this is our She-Hulk, which, by the way, they're bringing back Tim Roth for Abomination, so that should be interesting for that one as well. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, get a third one on that. With She-Hulk, there was that little line Kevin Feige said in regards to, the fact that Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, is a lawyer. She's going to be living in that world, and he's like, you never know who's going to pop up, which I think everyone assumes he's taking a little hint at Daredevil, especially since they got full rights back to the character just a couple weeks ago. A lot of people want Charlie Cox to pop up in Spider-Man 3 or even just in the MCU in general. I have no doubt we're going to get Daredevil and the other Defenders in the MCU at some point, but it's not going to be Charlie Cox. As much as I love the Charlie Cox version of Daredevil, I loved what he did with the character, and I love the series of Daredevil, it's not going to be it. Netflix owns that version of the character, and Marvel and MCU and Disney and all them are not going to deal with the legal trouble that entails all that. All right, what else we got as far as Marvel? Of course, we're getting some Iron Man-esque series. First off, Ironheart is going to be coming as a Disney Plus series. I believe, if that's what they said. Hold on. Let me see. I'm on the Marvel website actually right now, marvel.com, going through the news stories, and I'm just kind of browsing here to see if I can get full info on all this stuff, which, of course, as I'm sitting here rambling and just stalling, and I stalled enough. I found it. Yes. Riri Williams, I guess, is the actress who is going to star in the Ironheart series. Now, for those of you not familiar, Ironheart, kind of a young female Iron Man, the character herself, genius, much like Tony Stark was, builds her own armor. Dominique Thorne? No, wait. I'm missing this up here. Dominique Thorne is the actress. Riri Williams is the character. Yes, see, I got it right there, guys. There you go. But anyway, she's the genius inventor who creates her own advanced suit of armor, not seen since Tony Stark. So we have that coming. And then we also have Armor Wars, which, if you know, is a famous Marvel Iron Man storyline where basically people actually, get their hands on Iron Man tech, and Tony has to clean it all up because obviously people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing with Iron Man tech. But since Tony Stark is not currently in the MCU, looks like it's going to be up to Rhodey, aka War Machine, Don Cheadle, to fight this battle. And that'll be interesting, I think, to see, finally Don Cheadle's War Machine kind of get the spotlight a little bit. He's always been a supporting character. To see, what he does with this. I find it interesting, though, that, we don't have Iron Man anymore in the MCU, but we have Iron Man-esque things coming out like Armor Wars and Ironheart. And I know, general fans were like, oh, they should form like a Young Avengers with Hawkeye's daughter and Tony Stark's daughter. And no, that's not how it's going to go, guys. Trust me, there are other heroes, proteges of the normal heroes, that we're getting, and this is, fine by me. Even though I'm not a huge Iron Man fan, like I said, I'm going to check it out. Secret Invasion is coming. Now, Secret Invasion, of course, a famous Marvel storyline. It takes place, I think, not that soon after Civil War. It was either the next year or the year after in comics that it took place. But anyway, it's how the Skrulls infiltrate the Marvel universe. They're shapeshifters, so they can pose as anyone, and looks like that's what they've done. And this one is going to be a Disney Plus series with Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. Is that his name? Hold on. Yes, Ben Mendelsohn is his name. Nick Fury and Talos are back. You can kind of see where that is. Like, after you see Spider-Man, Far From Home, the post-credit scene on that, you can kind of see how that is, because, spoiler alert for that film, which has been out for almost a year and a half now, the Nick Fury and Maria Hill that were in that film were actually Skrulls, and then one of them was Talos. He calls Nick Fury, who's out in space on vacation or something. I don't know, but anyway, they're going to have to deal with some alien infestation within this. I don't think it's going to be as big and, blockbustery as what the event was. When you say Secret Invasion, I feel like that would be like a great blockbuster film, especially given the material it comes from. That it's going to be a Disney Plus series, I feel like it's going to be a little more low key, maybe a little more like investigative, like crime solving, perhaps. Just my thoughts on all this, but I could be totally wrong. I probably am totally wrong, because that's what my life's all about. Let's see here. Of course, Captain Marvel 2. We're getting Captain Marvel 2. And, they casted Ms. Marvel as well. So she's going to be not only in the Ms. Marvel series, but also going to guest star in Captain Marvel 2. That film's set to come out November 11th, 2022. We got Brie Larson back. We got Teyonah Parris is her name? Probably totally wrong. She's going to be a grown-up Monica Rambeau, who was a child in the first Captain Marvel movie. She's coming back. Of course, obviously, time has passed. If we're going to set it in present day, so she's an adult. Now, Monica Rambeau is also going to be in WandaVision as well. Then she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2. And that's a great thing about, what Feige and the people at Marvel Studios are doing. It's just the interconnectivity of it all. They're playing the long game. People have tried to duplicate this, and they don't get it. Feige gets it, and that's why the Marvel Studio people do it so well and are so successful at it. So Captain Marvel 2 with Ms. Marvel coming into theaters November 11th, 2022, hopefully. When I say theaters, I say hopefully it's coming to theaters. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about in regards to Marvel is probably my favorite piece of news. That's right. Kevin Feige said, yes, they're working on a bunch of other projects. Blade's coming, Moon Knight's coming, and he gave official word that they are in development of Fantastic Four. Marvel Studios Fantastic Four. Director John Watts, who directed the last two Spider-Man films with Tom Holland, is going to be set to directing. Now, I find it kind of weird and odd. Well, not odd and weird, but Peyton Reed, the guy who directed the Ant-Man films, he, I think at one point was attached or showed some interest in directing Fantastic Four, and I thought he would be a great director to do that, given, the type of films he's previously done. So when they said John Watts, I was a little shocked that maybe, it wasn't Peyton Reed, but at the same time, from what we've seen from Mr. Watts, I think he could do a fine job on Fantastic Four as well. I myself, over other Marvel characters, I enjoy, the Fantastic Four way more than some of the other Avengers members and stuff like that too. And the Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family. And when I say that, obviously they're the family, the Marvel's first team. They were actually the first, Marvel characters is what it is. If you go back to the history of Marvel, Stan Lee was, working as a comic book writer and artist, and he was about to quit. And his wife at the time said, you know what, if you're going to quit, just do a comic that you want to do and don't worry about, if it sells or not. And that's when he created Fantastic Four. People loved it. He expanded to other characters like the Incredible Hulk and X-Men and Iron Man and all that. So really, Fantastic Four is how we got this whole Marvel universe. And the characters themselves I love. I was a big Human Torch fan as a kid. The movies, haven't been great. I still say that first Tim Story one with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis and Jessica Alba, I can see it's not great, but I think it's the best we've gotten so far. I own it on Blu-ray, and if I want to watch a Fantastic Four movie, out of the four we've gotten, that's the one I watch. But they didn't give any kind of, date as far as when it's going to come out. They just said they're finally talking about it. And of course, this goes back to the fact that, several years ago, Disney bought 20th Century Fox and got their whole library of films, but also the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men films back into the hands of Marvel Studios. However, I think when it comes to the X-Men, because the X-Men have quite a few more films than what Fantastic Four did, they had a little more popularity than what the Fantastic Four did in a general sense, movie theater sense, whatever. I think it's going to be a little longer. Plus the idea of mutants. A lot of people have a lot of theories about how you could incorporate the idea of mutants into the MCU. I could have a couple myself, but I won't talk about those right now. It's going to be, I think, a harder nut to crack rather than, the Fantastic Four, where they got their powers by accident. So it's a little more easy to explain, actually. So anyway, I'm excited because Fantastic Four is one of those Marvel titles that I prefer over a lot of other ones. I don't always read it, but I always keep up with it to see what's going on. So I'm excited for Fantastic Four. Finally, official news that they're going to be joining the MCU Probably not anytime soon. I would say it's going to be at least 3 years before we see them. Casting, that's going to be controversial. I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about, casting the Fantastic Four in regards to John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, etc. We'll see how it goes, guys. But that was the Marvel presentation of the Disney Investors Day 2020, and it made me giddy. It really did. We got some good trailers, of course, for upcoming stuff. I think, in Disney in general, it's just like, hey, here's some good stuff for coming to Disney Plus. Here's some good stuff that's coming to theaters. They're trying to balance it versus some other studios. They want everyone to have their cake and eat it too. They know how important Disney Plus is and the streaming service is, but they also, I think, know how important the theatrical films are as well. And I think, that's how everyone succeeds. That's how they succeed as a studio, and that's how movie theaters succeed, the balance. And with Marvel, they're going good. They're going real good, and I'm excited for what is to come. What am I excited most about? Well, like I said, Fantastic Four, I'm excited about. Falcon, Winter Soldier, Black Widow. Those are probably things I'm most excited about. I'm kind of excited more about She-Hulk compared to some of the other things. Just because I think it's an interesting what you could do with She-Hulk as far as, her being a lawyer and all that. And then, of course, very interested to see how they handle Black Panther 2 with all that, guys. But plenty of stuff to enjoy. So that is it. Fire back, of course, on the Facebook group, Twitter account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Let me know, what are you most excited for in this Marvel presentation? How do you feel about Black Widow not coming to Disney Plus, still committed to the theatrical release in May? I want to see the movie. I really want to see the movie really bad, but I want to see it in theaters. So if I have to wait, a year later than when it was supposed to come out, I guess that's what I have to do. But that's what it is, guys. But yes, let me know, what do you like, what do you don't like? Fire back. I want to hear from you guys. Let's discuss this. So as I said, hopefully tomorrow or the next couple days, I can sit down with my wife, Lisa, and we could talk some Star Wars as well, because there's a lot to talk about in that too. Man, Disney knocked it out of the park. They really did. So either way, guys, hopefully that'll be up soon. But that's it. That's all I have for you today. Like I said, hop on the Facebook group and Twitter account. Share your thoughts on the Marvel or anything else. Dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com is always there for you too. And you can find me personally, Slim Dayspring 12 on Twitter and Instagram. That's it, guys. Go out, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your lives. And until next time, may the Force be with us all.